Hello, cncHD here with another Worldbuilder tutorial. This time we are looking at a draft version of Mr. Blazing. He's from the community and I met him through the World Championship. What is that thing called? It's a new event of Legionnaire. And this is the Worldbuilder Championship 2022, I think it's called. The event where you create the maps. 4-player maps or 8-player maps currently. Really nice event. If you want to participate, link is in the description down below. Okay, so here we have the draft version of Blazing, like I said. And in this video I want to show what I would change and what I did change to give the beginners of mapping a tutorial an idea of what to do in this map. So this is the draft version, like I said. It's a 4-player map. If we scroll out, you can see what's happening here. We can see some sound files here. This is the amp winter nature wind. It's a sound file, and player 1 2 3 4 start. It's the starting position of the players, obviously. Looks very basic. We disable the waypoints. We can see the map in its full glory. We have in the middle these 3 islands. They are connected with a bridge. And they have ramps. The ramps going up here to the islands. There are also some civilian buildings here. If we look here, civilian buildings. 4 in the middle of the map. And we have this little nice park here with some supply piles. Now there's a huge problem with the map. First one is the balance issue. There's a huge balance issue on this map. The ramps are too small, like way too small. You can send 2 tanks up there or 3 tanks and that will be it. So there's no way to get up there if there's 1 bunker there or tunnel or palace or whatsoever. So that is a huge issue. That's a no-go in a map. Then you have these bridges. The bridges are a nice idea, but they cut off the middle here completely. The solution would be to remove that and add a bridge, an actual bridge, which you can get here from the road tool. If you go to bridges, and you have here a wide selection of bridges, and then you can then draw the bridge like that one. That would be a way better solution than this, because here you can't go through. Here with the bridge you can go through. The problem I have with bridges is that they bug out. The units on the bridge will bug out. They have issues with the pathfinding and also has some balance issues for the tanks which are fighting on the ground here against each other. The bridges can cause balance issues. So I would not go with a bridge. So overall, I would remove this part here. I would remove it completely. Same with this one here. I would remove that completely. And then we can see what to do with these civilian buildings. Now this is a nice concept here of the map. I really like the concept. It's a really nice idea. Very unique. The problem I see here with the supply piles, it's unbalanced. If you have 2 players here, one on the top, one on the bottom, they start with only 1 supply dock. And second, they don't have 2 supply piles here. They only have 1 supply pile, so they have to fight over these. One player is the lucky player to get these, and I don't like that. But that would be if that is there and that is there on the top. So you have chances for both players to get these second supplies. A map with just 1 supply sucks. they are not played often in the community, and I would highly advise to build 2 supplies for each starting position. Okay, if we look here at the supply dock and we drag it over, you can see that there's a second one below there. You can't see it right there, but if you drag it over, you can see there's a second one lying below there. That is also a huge issue. I mean, with the testing, you would have seen that, but maybe not in the first test, or in the second test, or the third test, or the fourth test, but maybe in a tournament, when a player says, hey, my money is not running out. So that is a huge issue. We remove that. Here with the paths, I think they look ugly. It's a nice concept here. It's really nicely drawn. Very well done here with the drawing. But we have so many other paths and tracks. I would remove them completely and add tracks instead. So that's what I would do. So if we go here to the height brush, yeah, we can go here to feet 16, no 10 feet. That's the feet level, the height level. If we remove that, that's what I done in the corrected version, which I will show you in a bit. If we remove that and we get rid of the tracks because they are a bit confusing, like that, then you can already see, oh man, that is great, because tanks can now actually go through the middle without having to go over the ramps. So that is an improvement. Then these islands are very small. They are like way too small. You can place 2 tunnels here and then the whole island is full. So that needs to be larger. And if we make it larger, we have to erase these ramps. Here we erase these ramps. Erase, erase, erase. With that being done, we have free range to edit these islands. So first off, we make these islands bigger. We go here to the height brush again. We hover over this island, and on the bottom we can see it has a height of 58.75. You can see it down there on the very bottom of the map. And 58.75 height, that is like there, 94. 94 is the same height here as this island. Now we can make it bigger. It's a round shape. We will keep that, and to keep it as a round shape, we will increase the brush width or width. What? No idea. We make it bigger, like 30. That's way too small. 40, way too small. 60, way too small. 80. Yeah, 80 looks great. We will choose 80. Okay, maybe it was big. Let's make 70. Okay, that's much better now. And ramps. We saw the ramps, how they looked. We want to have them wider so that more than 3 tanks can go over it. We go to the ramp tool, and I like to have like 150 on the width. That is this size. Would also go a little bit bigger, like 170. Now actually some tanks can go over there without an issue. We place it and boom, looks great. Do it on the bottom as well, because we want to have it symmetrical. There we go. Big ramps, big entrance, big island, big brain. Here on the left and on the right, we have these little gaps. I'm not a big fan of them. I mean, you could keep it, but then you have this issue here on the right. You just have this little path, and on the other side, you have this huge path. This is unsymmetrical, and it's unbalanced. So I would not go with that. You also have these entrances here through the middle. So overall, I would say give it a little bit more touch with the mountains. So what I would do is first make the brush a bit smaller. This was 58.75 feet height. There we go. Is that the right size? $58. Yeah, this is the right size. Yeah, there, 94. Okay, and I would add like that and make it symmetrical like that. Same on the top. Few legs here, 2 legs. And connect it. So this way you made it a bit more unique. You have these islands, and you have a huge island here on the bottom and a huge island on the top. These 2 buildings I would remove because balance. If you place a few rocket troops inside here, nobody will be able to get through here without having to use a dragon tank. And early on, this is easily defended, so I would remove it. Just go away. Way too unbalanced. Okay, now you have this nice little path. This is another issue I see here. With these placements, you can't really place a supply center here next to it. Your supply trucks will collect in a weird way. So I would move these oil derricks here to the sides. Now you can get the oil without interfering with your supply trucks. That is another tip I would give. Here we add more ramps. This is actually way too big. We make it a bit smaller, like 140. That looks great. Make it symmetrical. Symmetrical is the key in maps. This looks great. Looks great. Okay. Would say that is a big success. Now let's go over to the visuals. In the visuals, your biggest friend is the smooth height tool. You have it here next to the brush on the top. And this little tool is very, very handy. You see these ugly spots here? It looks very ugly, very sharp. Not really smooth on the eyes. And if you have the smooth height tool, you can just hover over it, click the left mouse button and just smash it on. And now your ramp will go into a smooth position. This looks very smooth on the eyes. And while you are at it, apply this on the mountain as well. This will smooth it out, makes it better for the eyes. Now this looks good. This looks really good. Now apply that to your whole mountain. And then go over to the ramp, the next ramp. Drag it all over 4 spots. There's this right spot here, drag it over there, make it smooth. Here on the bottom, on the left, go over there, make it smooth. On the left. And that looks great. Now here behind the borders, you don't need to do that, because behind the borders, the people won't notice it anyway. Now apply that here to this position. Here as well. All 4 sides of the ramp. Here as well. Here with these little mountains, I would argue if that's needed to smooth them, because I have another idea for them. First, let's do the ramps here. I mean, that's totally up to you how you want to do it, of course. You want to keep it as sharp as this cliff, then it's of course up to you. This is not a must here, but I like to have it like that. Makes it look a bit smoother. Yeah, that looks great. Now here with the mountains, I have in mind if we go to the mount tool, then you can increase this here a little bit. Same here on this side. Just go a bit here over the edges. And then smooth it up with the smooth height tool. So it doesn't look so sharp on the ice. Or edgy, or however you want to call it. You need to do a lot with the smooth height tool. It's really your best friend when it comes to mountains and ramps. Really helps a lot making these mountains look beautiful. Okay, apply that on both sides. You can see how well this mountain now goes from being a mess to an actual nice looking mountain. Okay, I would say that looks great. Now we have one more position here. Again, use the smooth height tool. All 4 sides. Same here. And apply it on the rest of the mountain. You can leave the mountain as it is, or you go with the height tool over it to increase the mountains there a bit. That's totally up to you, how you would like to have it. The ramp tool can really be a nice tool, but you really need to smooth it out afterwards, because otherwise this is just going to look very, very ugly. Okay, we do it all like that until we reach the border of the map, and behind the border we don't need to do any more work. We remove the roads here so we don't get distracted here by all of that, and move the trees a bit away. We have a clear sight on what's happening here. This still needs a bit of smoothing here. Okay, excellent. Now you can go with the mount tool, and where there's no ramp, you can just apply this here a little bit, like that, and apply that here to highlight the mountainous of that, if that's a word, that it's a mountain. You can highlight that here with the tool, or you just leave it as it is. That is totally up to you. Okay, we leave it as it is. We can use here the smooth tool a little bit more, as it's not really smooth. I think that looks much better on the eyes. Yeah, it's really a question of detail here, how much you're going to smooth that out. You really need to find a sweet spot there. Totally up to you then. And we apply the mount thingy here on the bottom as well. Just a little bit, tiny little bit. Not too much, not too heavy. Yeah, like that. Now, with the textures. If we go to the textures, first I need to move away these mountains so they don't distract us. Okay, that's perfect, that's perfect, that's not perfect. Okay. You have a lot of mountain colors in a texture. If you go to the texture, you have on the top transition. There's a lot of mountain colors there. You have the sandy ones, the rock ones. For example, that one is for snow. But I don't like it, it looks very ugly. Then you have that one, looks also very ugly on the eyes, I think. That one too. That one I use for tropical maps. That one for tropical maps as well. Now we get to the good parts. This one you can use for your snow maps. This one as well. This one is a desert. I wouldn't use that. That's a grassy one. This you can use for your snow maps as well. And the others, I mean, yeah, sure, why not? So with these 5 textures I would go. Maybe that one? No, that one isn't very good. Okay, we remove the other textures. What I like to do is create a palette on the outside of the map and just drag these over there. Here outside of the map you can do a palette like that. For example here, here, oops. And like that. So you get the idea. And then you have the eyedropper here on the top. It's called the eyedropper. Then you can get your textures over here with the eyedropper. That's what I like to do. So if we go here over to the mountain, I would like to choose like that. That texture looks good. And we now smear it all over the mountain. So all over here until we reach the end of the map. Yeah, that looks great. Here as well. Yep, and here as well. I will now do this only for one, so that you get the idea what I mean, and then I will skip the rest. Okay, once we have done that, we go to the Auto Etch Out tool. Click on it, apply it, This will smooth it out there on the edges. Apply it, will smooth out. Apply it, will smooth out. Now I like to use another texture. For example, this one. Is that the same texture? It is the same texture. Then that one. Now with the small single tile tool, I paint a little bit of the different texture over it. So for example, like that. Just a little tiny bit. Then I go to Auto Etch Out, apply it. Now you have different textures in this texture. We do that again. Apply it. Again. It's a little bit tricky. I'm not very good with mountain textures. There are people who are way better than me. But that is the basic idea how I would do that. Just a little bit painting over it. And I would say 2 textures are enough for a mountain of this size. It's not a huge mountain, it's a small mountain. With this size, 2 textures should be enough. Okay, that's how I would do the mountain. And now the rest is up to you. It's all design choices. I will now show you what I did with the actual map. We go over here to my finished project. I made it a bit sunnier. So what the map creator did was here in the map settings, he chose evening. I don't like the evening thing. It's way too dark. I like it a bit brighter, so I changed it to afternoon. A no-go is night. That would be an absolute no-go. Don't do that. No one will ever play your map with that setting. You also set the weather to snowy. It's okay. It's not that problematic. So afternoon it is. So the players can actually see what's going on the map. So we can see here I did these changes like I showed you in the other version. I removed the bridges. And this is how I did the mountains. I also smoothed it out here. I used different roads like that. Here with that part, that was a bit tricky. If we look at the previous version, you can see it looks like that. And what I did is have it like that. I can show you how I did that. We go here to that version, make it a bit brighter on the eyes. Afternoon. Because this looks not that great. We first need a grassy texture. For that purpose I used... Was it that? I think it was that, yeah. Looks the same to me, yeah. So first we use that, brush it all over here. Like that. This way we have the basic texture. Then I used the Auto Etch Out tool to drag grass over the rocks. You can see here this thin line. We want to get that removed. Now it's removed with the Auto Etch Out tool. Then I used another texture in the texture. For that I used a grassy one. Like that. We paint that here in here. Now you etch that out. And now in this texture, you use another texture. You have here type 7, type 7b. It's a bit less grassy. and 7C is a lot less grassy. So we use 7B. First we used 7, now we use 7B. And draw 7B in here. You can see it's a bit lighter, not so grass intensive. We draw that right in here. And we auto etch out that one. And now if you want to go full advanced mode, you use 7C and paint that in 7B. Like that. Auto etch out. Auto etch out. You can't see it that much, but if you look really close, you can see it a bit. I don't see it a lot, but just like a little tiny bit. That's detail. That's how you do these texture parts. Same with the snow. For the starting positions, for example, we have the player start position here. If we choose waypoints, player 4 starts here. And this snow looks very ugly. So if we go here to the snow, we have again 7C, 7B, 7, and we have different type of snows here with type 5, type 4, type 3. I, for example, choose type 5. For the player starting position, I draw that in here a little bit. You can see that it's a bit smoother on the eyes. Auto etch out this one, and now in this texture, choose another texture, like type 4, for example. And paint a little something in there. And now you could go even further with type 3. Get type 3 in there. Give it a little bit detail. And this is how you do the textures. Just go with detail. Texture in the texture in the texture. Then you can go here with these parking lots. You can add some fences. Next to the building you have a dumpster. You can have parking banks in your park with a trash can there. So all these little details. And yeah, I hope this helped you a little bit. The water. I changed the water a little bit. We go to the previous version. The water looks like that. That is really heavy on the eyes. What I like to do is make it a bit lighter. That is done with the height brush tool. Very small brush. Like 2 or 3. Let's go with 3. And we want to have a very low brush height. Like, for example, 6.3 feet. We brush it in here. Okay, we can go a little bit down to 9. Yeah, that looks great. You can see that the water is just a little tiny bit over the land. That's what we want. Now we paint that in here. This way you get detail. And then you use a little bit deeper, like 8. Make the brush a little bit smaller. And paint that in. This way you get the water, which doesn't look so heavy on the eyes, like that. Okay, like I said, I hope this video helped you a little bit to improve your maps. This video is for Blazing, to see what I did in his map, to help him understand what I did, why I did it. And yeah, that's his map. And good luck in the Worldbuilder challenge. Till then, this is your cncHD. Goodbye.